we did a video on potential landing spots for Michigan State wide receiver Keon Coleman. A couple of hypotheticals, places that we had heard rumblings about. And Keon Coleman, shortly after we published that video, announced he was taking an official visit to Florida State this coming weekend. Now, shout out to the good people down in Tallahassee because y'all got after us in the comment section, keeping us on point, and we love y'all for that. So let's talk about it. What would it mean for Keon Coleman to take his talents to Tallahassee and be a Florida State Seminole? There's a lot to unpack here with this one, but first, what would you be getting if Keon Coleman does end up committing to Florida State? Proven production, 6'4", 215 pounds, legitimate NFL draft prospect, had 58 catches, 798 yards, found the end zone 7 times last season. Dude is a baller. Also played basketball at a point in time for Michigan State. You know how freakish of an athlete you have to be to play basketball and football at a place like Michigan State? I love Cornell, my alma mater, but to play basketball and football at Cornell would have been impressive. To do it at a power like Michigan State in both those sports, that's impressive. Okay, so freakish athlete. When you watch the tape with Keon Coleman, he is a one-on-one nightmare. Like you watch Peyton Thorne when he was playing with Michigan State, and you see no safety over the top, and you got man coverage for Keon Coleman. Like every single time, it's, hey, we're going to zero. Put the ball up. Don't care where you're at. Come down with it. Like that was the kind of game you were able to play above the rim with Keon Coleman at wide receiver for you. And that's the kind of player you would be getting at Florida State should Keon Coleman decide he's going to be a Nole. All right, got some more thoughts on this. Florida State fans, we've had a ton of y'all join us here over the last few months. If you have not yet subscribed, we'd love to have you at this party, baby. We talk college football every single day. You love the sport because you're watching a video like this in May. We love the sport because we get to talk about it every single day, all year round. It's a beautiful thing. So make sure you're subscribed right here. Join the party. Also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Pickell. Great mediums for me to be able to then hear from you. All right, we appreciate y'all for that. What would this mean for Florida State, though? Let's start with just schematically. There would be too many positions for a defense to account for. Because think about how that would look. You got Keon Coleman, big body, like I just said, 6'4". You got Johnny Wilson, who's like 9'10". You got Jaheim Bell, South Carolina transfer to play tight end for you. You have so many guys. You can't double cover all of them. You can't. You have to make sure that you account for them all accordingly. But to be real with you, that's too many problems for your defense to try and solve. Just the reality, man. Strength in numbers. So that's the first part. The other part of this is, personnel-wise, I don't know how you match up with all that size. Now, you hope that you have somebody step into that role that can really be a true deep threat for you. But from just a size perspective, there's not a ton of DBs walking around that can defend a 6'4", 6'7", and 6 foot, I would imagine 2, 3, maybe even 6'4" plus kind of players. That's a lot of size on the field. So from a matchup standpoint, I think you're up the creek with no paddle, man, to be real. So Florida State, they can play some bully ball in the pass game now. Jordan Travis, you throw a 50-50 ball to any of these cats, especially Keon Coleman, it's not 50-50. More often than not, it's Keon Coleman's football. And I feel the same way about Johnny Wilson. I feel the same way about Jaheim Bell. So just the size and the number of options you have offensively in the pass game for Jordan Travis, it is an embarrassment of riches. So that's just ridiculous. I also think, as an offense, this would be the weapon that potentially could allow you to have that slight uptick in production. Now, a lot of y'all have been rocking with us here for a minute, so you already know what I'm going to say. But I believe that Florida State, to get to where they want to go, winning the ACC, playing in the college football playoff, competing for a national title, there needs to be an ever so slight uptick in points per game. You say, whoa, JD, we scored a lot of points per game last year. I'm like, dog, I know. We had Jordan Travis on the show. We had Mike Norvell on the show. Florida State averaged 36 points a game last year. But in the games where Florida State wasn't able to come out victorious, it was the offense having a little bit of trouble, not being able to get them over the hump, not being able to kick into that final gear to really put the Jets on. And so for Florida State, if they can be in that 40 points per game range, that's where I want to see them live. 40 points a game, you're dealing with, in the neighborhood of what Ohio State was doing in the neighborhood of what Georgia and Michigan were doing. Like, that's the area where it's like, okay, now we can fight this style to where if our defense has an off day, God bless them, we're good to go, man. We got to win a track meet, let's roll. And adding Keon Coleman is another weapon to use to help ensure that you're closer to that kind of points per game range. That's how I feel about it. If you feel differently, get in the comments section and let me know. Get at me on socials and let me know. But that's how I feel. Because I think the defense is going to be pretty good, to be real with you. I think Jordan Travis is really good. You got a lot of weapons. Is Keon Coleman just the straw that breaks the camel's back there with getting to that 40 points a game range? Is how I feel. And so, to be real, let's take a step back here. I mean, adding Keon Coleman would be a big addition in the gameplay perspective. But when I look at what Keon Coleman and adding him is all about, it's about ensuring and increasing your odds that you can achieve what you plan to achieve in 2023, because it's all there for you. Jordan Travis back for another year. Went and got some guys through the portal, defensively and offensively. Got Fentrell Cypress at corner, Jaheim Bell playing tight end. You add Keon Coleman, you have a real chance to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. I'm not saying that he's just far and away going to be the difference maker, but you just think about the offense. You continue to elevate the floor and break open the ceiling of what you're capable of. Because that's what this year is about, man. It is all building for this year. It's all right there in front of them. And so adding a player of his caliber would be a very big addition, would bolster the offense, could be a critical piece to what they want to get done in 2023. So Keon Coleman, visiting Florida State right now. We'll continue to monitor this one, but make sure you're subscribed right here. We talk college football every single day. You're a junkie. We're junkies. We're talking ball in May, and you're watching somebody talk about ball in May, so I promise you, we're cut from the same cloth. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.